me! Oh, help! There's guys from outer space!
Don't be alarmed, Miss Robbins. We're not lawbreakers.
We're here to protect you, ma'am.
Great Scott! The Cape Crusader and the Boy Wonder.
What is up, strugglers? I'll hang stuff up eventually. The Batman TV show from the 1960s is some of the best media ever created, and I'm going to talk about it at length today. Batman Part 4 in 2023? I guess we'll find out. Forgive me for being a couple of years late. If you've never seen it, Batman was a wacky, campy masterpiece that ran for 3 seasons, and every now and then a clip from it will go viral and kind of reintroduce a new audience to it.
How could you have opened a vault to which you didn't even know the combination in 3 seconds flat?
With my 3 seconds flat Bat Vault combination unscrambler, Commissioner.
But it's a pain in the butt to watch. You have to basically buy the DVD set, kind of the only way you can watch it. It's not super accessible. So let me give you a little sneak preview of it. Maybe you'll want to dive in more. I'm here to do my part in sharing this with the world. You're welcome. Now, if you've been here for a while, you'll know that I've already covered 4 episodes of this show in previous videos years ago. But in total, there are 120 episodes. Oh no. Well, the sun is already setting. Let's not waste any more time. Come on. Gee willikers. Sure is lucky I had my trusty bat bed to help me break my fall. Well, while I'm here, thank you to Helix for sponsoring this video. Helix makes premium mattresses and bedding that are customized to fit your needs and sent straight to your door for free if you live in the US. The mattress comes rolled up in a box. It's very simple to set up, only takes a couple of minutes. If it's online, how do I know which mattress is best for me? Well, you take their short Helix sleep quiz and they'll use those answers to match you with your perfect mattress. For example, my wife and I both prefer a medium firmness to our mattress and we both sleep on our sides, so we got matched with the Midnight Lux. Best mattress we've ever owned, hands down. But let's say you're not necessarily in the market for a new mattress. Well, that's why Helix now offers mattress toppers. These premium bad boys can extend the life of an old mattress that you currently have, as well as just generally upgrading any other mattress that you own. If you're nervous about purchasing a mattress that you haven't actually tried yourself, that's fine. That's why Helix offers a 120-night sleep trial, as well as a lifetime warranty. And if you use my link by going to helixsleep.com/Scott Cramer, you can get 27% off during their President's Day sale. All right, thank you so much to Helix for sponsoring this video. Thank you to you guys, as always, for using my links when I have them. Helps me out a ton. Now, let's get after it. This one's a big boy. All right, folks, settle in. Welcome to the Batcave. Every episode of the show follows basically the same formula. They're split up into 2 parts. In part 1, Batman and Robin are tipped off to some kind of villainous scheme going on. They show up, they thwart it, but something goes wrong along the way, and that results in them getting tricked or, like, captured. Usually they get captured in some kind of death trap, and then they leave you on a cliffhanger at the end of that episode. Then when the next episode starts, they pull off some kind of miracle. You know, they reach into the wacky gadgets that Batman has. He's got his little utility belt. Check me out. You see that? Good stuff in there. There's always some super plot convenient way that they get out of whatever they've gotten themselves into. And then once they get out, they use their big brains, you know, they combine smarts, the world's greatest detectives, and they predict the villain's next move. A lot of the villains leave clues as to their next move. They probably shouldn't be doing that. The villains could get away with most things if they just stopped telling Batman what they were gonna do via cryptic messages. But Batman and Robin end up saving the day. You know, Gotham City lives to see another day. We rinse and repeat 120 times. It's awesome. And a movie. 120 times and a movie. Can't forget about that. Season 1 laid that groundwork for basically the entire show, and I think it's the best season. But they really didn't deviate from that basic formula for all 120 episodes. I'm always so impressed by media that can commit like this. How are you getting it right so quickly? How are you, within the first few episodes, already deciding and cementing what the show is gonna be? I haven't even been able to figure out how to consistently make a proper YouTube video, and I've been doing this for like a decade. I need to emphasize just how insane it is that over the course of 2 years, they made 3 seasons, 120 episodes of this show, and a movie. Think about that next time Netflix makes you wait 3 years for 10 garbage episodes of like Ginny and Georgia.
Hold on, Catwoman. I'll pull you up.
So because the show follows such an effective formula, they needed something to differentiate the episodes from each other, and that is where the villains come in. The villains in this show are so fun, dude. They all have totally unique characteristics. They each have different methods to their madness, and their goals are all perfectly distinct. Like, for example, Catwoman. She likes stuff. She can't keep her grubby little paws off of priceless artifacts and jewels. She just steals whatever she wants. She builds this crew of super obedient henchmen. They'll do whatever she says. I can't imagine why. Why would they follow this lady? Why would they do that? And then if things ever go sideways for her and Batman, you know, gets her like this, she just seductively kind of talks her way out of it half the time. And good for her, God bless her for that. But then you've also got somebody like the Joker. You ever heard of him? And the Joker doesn't really care about stuff. He likes screwing with people. His motivations are all over the place. And there's definitely times when he'll like steal stuff or he'll hold people for ransom, but he is more a creature of chaos than anything else. Never let him know your next move type shit.
What's this from the Bat computer? Picture of 2 naked feet.
So we've got 2 villains on opposite ends of the spectrum here. It would be easy to assume that Batman might treat these villains differently from one another. You know, there's nuances to how you handle these situations, but the beauty about Batman is that in his eyes, everybody deserves the same treatment. As long as that treatment is eating a knuckle sandwich every time you act up.
4 against 2. I would say that the odds are in our favor, Robin.
Batman is indiscriminate with who he'll throw hands with, okay? He'll smack the elderly, he'll pummel a waiter, he'll kapow a dang bald man for crying out loud. He has no limits. Heck, I've seen him beat up other superheroes. I will say, I don't think I ever saw him hit a woman. I was trying to keep tabs on that. I don't think he did. The women would hit him, but he's a gentleman, so he wouldn't hit them back. Although, I did clock, there was this one episode in season 3 where 8 total supervillains were all in the same room and they all turned themselves invisible and they fought our heroes while they were invisible, okay? And 2 of those villains were Catwoman and then this lady, Dr. Cassandra. So there is a chance that in that scrap somewhere, he made a connection fist to face with one of these women. It is possible. We didn't see it happen, but it's definitely possible that it happened. So Batman is more than willing to tussle with these baddies, but at the same time, he is also the king of giving the benefit of the doubt. There are so many times when somebody is very clearly up to no good, but he won't actually do anything about it. He won't step in until it's undeniable that they're breaking the law in some way.
Let's go, Robin.
You mean you really believe him?
Robin, the Constitution provides that a man is innocent until proven guilty. And the Constitution is the cornerstone of our great nation. We must abide by it.
Gosh, when you put it that way, Batman, how can I help but agree?
And from what I gathered, I think the reason for that is because in this universe, Batman and Robin are actually sworn police officers. They're not just like acting as vigilantes like they usually are. And that it makes it all the more frustrating. In one of the episodes with this guy, King Tut, him and his goons are trying to kidnap this pretty lady because he wants her to be his bride, right? And they're at this kind of masquerade ball thing. And a couple of the goons go up to Bruce Wayne and they're like, hey, Bruce, we're undercover cops. You need to help us do this thing. But they're not cops, they're actually goons and they're gooning. So the lady ends up getting kidnapped because Batman is reckless and just goes along with the plan because he believes that they're cops. You're a cop, Batman. You don't know your fellow officers?
We're from the police. See those men over there? They're also police.
Oh, yes, I know.
Have you seen King Tut?
Yes, the police just took him away.
We're the police.
Notify the commissioner.
There is actually an episode where Batman realizes that maybe he is giving the villains too much benefit of the doubt, and that happens when the Penguin gets released from prison. It starts out with Robin being pretty nervous when he hears that the Penguin got released because, you know, every time this happens, he ends up committing some horrible crime. But Batman is always there to ease Robin and everybody else's worries.
I have great faith in our prison system, Commissioner. Perhaps the Penguin's spell up the river has made him reform.
Ever the optimist, and we love him for that. And the warden of the prison also, reassures everybody that the Penguin has been reformed. His prison system is very effective. And he shows them a video from inside Penguin's cell to prove that Penguin's no longer up to no good.
Here I am, due to be released tomorrow, and I still haven't worked out one single crime worthy of my talents. Well, I must devise something royal, unsuspected, sensational.
What was that? He's planning a horrible crime the entire time he's in prison? Right. Cool. Shoot.
Any thoughts, Batman?
On the whole, I think we'd better discard my theory about the Penguins going straight.
Even when Batman is personally sure of something, he's personally sure that these guys are up to no good, he insists on due process and following the absolute letter of the law to catch these bad guys the right way.
That whole thing was a setup, Batman. That waddling weasel planned it.
Perhaps, but I'm afraid we can't prove it.
Also, not for nothing, he is the most wholesome man on planet Earth.
Would you like to come in for a glass of milk and cookies?
I'm afraid it's rather late. Why, it's 10:30.
There are plenty of times when Batman captures a villain and then he immediately gets to work on rehabilitation. He doesn't just want to lock these people up, he wants them to be better. In season 2, Mr. Freeze is absolutely going nuts, right? He's doing horrible things to everybody. And in the end, you know, Batman and Robin, they capture him. But what's happening is that Mr. Freeze is actually starting to thaw. Like, the whole thing with Mr. Freeze is that he can't survive unless he has this special suit on, or he's in temperatures that are like under negative 50 degrees. So he's dying. He's dying. Oh no.
I freeze, Carla. I'll die.
And Batman saves him from dying so that the police can come and arrest him.
This should keep you alive, Mr. Freeze, until the police find your ice neck piece.
But then while Mr. Freeze is in prison, Batman makes a call to make sure that they keep him comfortable while he's in there.
He must at all times wear his jet freeze collar in order to stay alive. Anything you can do to lower the temperature of his cell would be a help.
You can't rehabilitate a dead man, Batman be like.
Look, Batman!
I think he might have actually killed that guy. Look at that. What is this? He's dead. You can't tell me he's alive. Look at that face. Rest in peace. Well, according to the canon of this universe, that man did not die, but just mere seconds before this, 2 other men did die. This is one of only 3 episodes in the entire show where somebody dies. 2 of these henchmen are hiding in these big sarcophagi, and they end up shooting each other with machine guns. That's just horrible. Friendly fire. Rest in peace. But this episode is also another great example of Batman's belief in rehabilitation, because the main villain in this one, Zelda the Great, she actually appears to be very remorseful for what she's done. She's kind of been coaxed into doing it by this other guy that she was working with. She wasn't really always on board with it. So it's like, okay, I see potential here. Maybe she will eventually be good, right? Batman be like. So at the end of the episode, Batman as Bruce Wayne actually goes to the prison to visit her, and he offers to get her a job once she's done serving her sentence as a children's magician at a children's hospital. Now, how wholesome is that? If you know anything about any version of Batman, this will come as no surprise to you, but it feels like he has a very special relationship with the Joker in this show. Like when Batman and Robin are foiling Joker's plans in this, they're always one step ahead of him. And specifically with the Joker, it's got this really fun, playful energy. Like in season 3, there's this episode where Joker, he's about to accidentally cause an explosion that's gonna kill everybody. And Batman hits us with this gem right here.
It's going to explode!
Let's get out of here!
There's no time. Stay calm, everybody. Stay calm.
We're still alive.
In the split second before the actual detonation of the gunpowder, I was able to infuse this one room with anti-blast bat powder.
That's the kind of forward thinking that we all deserve in our heroes, right? Anti-blast bat powder. Get me some of that in this belt, right? I could use that. And specifically when it's happening with the Joker, for some reason it feels like when you're a kid and you're like playing some kind of game, but you're making up new rules as you go along.
Well, you can't hit me because I actually had my protective shield on the whole time. Well, I used a shield-piercing bullets, so it pierced right through your shield, actually. But that's funny because I actually drank an anti-bullet potion earlier, so I'm fine. That's interesting because I poisoned your potion, actually. So, well, that's okay. I vomited the potion up just in time. But there's a missile aimed at your head as we speak, actually.
That anti-lethal fog bat spray is working, Batman.
Yes, I always carry some in my utility belt. I took a universal bat antidote before you administered that dreadful drug.
Egads, what sorcery is this?
No sorcery. Merely the precaution of a universal drug antidote pill.
Something's wrong. The key must be broken.
It's not the key to that box that's broken, Joker. It's your hypnotic power over us.
This time we took our counter-hypnosis bat pellets from our bat capsule dispensary.
Like they do that with every villain, but with the Joker specifically, it just has this really fun big/little brother energy to it. There is actually a fun instance in season 1 where they flip this trope on its head though. Batman escapes from this horrible trap where he's like suffocating to death, and you expect it to be like, oh, how'd you escape? Well, I used my bat lung expander or whatever the heck. But no, it's just this.
Well, I'm used to seeing you do the impossible, but getting out of that plaster tomb was impossible.
Much easier than it seemed, Robin. I simply held my breath.
Sometimes it just do be like that, you know? So if Batman is the eternal optimist that always sees the best in people and gives these bad guys the longest leash humanly possible, what about the boy wonder himself? What about that thigh-showing, catchphrase-slinging, crime-fighting protege, Robin? Well, I'm glad you asked. Robin has instincts. He has good instincts. Robin can sense when something just ain't right.
How very rude of you, Batman.
Batman's never rude to a lady, but you're no lady.
He doesn't fall for anything. When there's a villain that's spinning some yarn about, oh, I'm not being naughty here at the bank, I'm just opening a savings account, or whatever. Robin sniffs it out. Okay, he sniffs it out every single time.
You were taken in by her, but I'm too young for that sort of thing.
But you see, Batman, he's always in Robin's ear trying to teach him some life lessons or whatever. Batman will be like, don't jump to conclusions, old chum. Someday you may wish for someone to give you the benefit of the doubt. Or whatever. So it doesn't sound anything like it. And sure, at the end of the day, Batman does always end up figuring things out and doing the right thing. But that doesn't mean that Robin isn't right. The tragedy of Robin is that he never gets to just be a normal teenager, even in this goofy, silly, campy show from the 60s.
Sometimes I think people expect too much of us, Batman. We're only human.
All too true.
We only have so much to give.
He's always getting pulled into some kind of circus, you know? There's an episode in season 2 when Robin is out on a date, but then Batman has this like aching suspicion that something bad is gonna happen. So he pulls Robin away from that date just based off a hunch. And of course the hunch is right, okay? But Robin doesn't get any action. He sees a lot of action, but it's not, he doesn't get, you know what I mean? He's got all these heavy responsibilities that are outside of his control.
Poor devil. He's been assaulted with a root beer bottle.
How can you go to the movies with a honey when you're witnessing atrocities like that every single day? Riddle me that. He's surrounded by all these girls who are just fawning over him. They want a piece of that Robin. And the poor kid is just getting his emotions whipped back and forth, because what's he gonna do with these young ladies? What's a boy to do? They're the bad guys. What's he gonna do? Mess around with the bad guys? No, only Batman gets to do that. Only Batman gets to canoodle with like Catwoman or whatever.
If I were to kiss you, would you think I was a bad girl?
But, no. Kissing is one of the most natural things in the world. Some people kiss almost every day, I'm told.
What's that, Robin? You're out on a date? Sorry, we gotta go chase down Liberace, so you actually have to leave. Oh, what's that? A bunch of girls your age are throwing themselves at you? That's actually not real, and their parents are trying to kill you. There's a girl from your school that could potentially be a love interest. Well, she's actually working with the bad guys, and you need to go undercover. But try not to catch any real feelings while you're in there. You know what I mean? You're torturing the poor boy.
How about a little smooch? You're my kind of dame.
Hands up! Don't make a move.
And all of this has got to cause some pent-up anger in him, you know, but they're the good guys, so you can't give in to that anger. You know, you gotta take the high road every time. You've gotta be pure, Robin. I know you literally just got eaten by a giant clam, like you just got eaten by a giant clam, dude, but try to be grateful, okay, buddy? Try to stay calm and be grateful.
What's the use of learning French anyway?
Dick, I'm surprised at you. Language is the key to world peace. If we all spoke each other's tongues, perhaps the scourge of war would be ended forever.
Gosh, Bruce, yes. I'll get these darn verbs if they kill me.
But one good thing is that Robin does get to let a little bit of anger out in the form of beating the piss out of every single guy he comes across. Robin is even more indiscriminate than Batman when it comes to who he's gonna throw hands with. The dude will literally rough up the chief of police if he gets in his way. Throughout the course of the show, Robin also gets in a bunch of fights without Batman even there. And sometimes he is there. Sometimes like Bruce Wayne will be there, but he can't help Robin because it'll blow his cover. So he's like kind of he just throws Robin to the wolves. There was this one episode in season 3 where Robin was fighting without Batman because Batman was under some kind of spell. And then Robin ends up dangling the villain lady off the side of a building.
My voice would be gone. I'd rather die. I'd rather live.
The 60s version of Batman would not do that. But Robin? He'll do anything. If I was ever getting jumped in Gotham, I would be praying for Robin to come back me up. And all of this is not even to mention the huge number of times that villains will specifically target Robin because they want to get to Batman. So like, they'll kidnap the poor guy, they'll torture him, they're holding him for ransom just so they can get their grubby little hands on the Caped Crusader himself. It's sick. It's truly sick what they do to our boy. So you've got this wise older mentor who's seen the good and the bad sides of the city. He's worked with the authorities for many years. And to be fair, he has had his fair share of disagreements with how they operate sometimes. But ultimately, he sees their vision as noble and worth fighting for. He's resourceful, he's highly skilled, he's willing to kind of toe the line of how the good guys would usually be expected to operate in order to effectively serve the greater good.
Stop! Surrender! Give yourself up! By all that's holy, I might forget myself and do you violence!
He follows a strict personal moral code, sometimes to the detriment of his own well-being. But he is always doing what he thinks is right.
When it's a question of Robin's safety, I don't entirely trust myself. I'd like a witness present to make sure that I don't employ methods which might bounce back on me in court.
And then you've got his young, spirited, protege who has this hunger to reach his full potential, and even though he doesn't always see eye to eye with his mentor, he deeply respects him. He'll charge headfirst into battle without asking questions. He's got these natural gifts that help him stay 2 steps ahead of his enemies even when he doesn't work with like perfect technical precision. He flies in there, he gets the job done, no matter what. And he's the first target for these villains to try to corrupt the good guys. I'm gonna say it. Obi-Wan and Anakin Rabin. There's no other way to put it, guys. Obi-Wan and Anakin is the comparison I'm trying to make. It's like what George Lucas ended up doing with Obi-Wan and Anakin in Star Wars. I think it was inspiration. That's what I'm trying to say. I think it was inspiration. I would now like to highlight some of my favorite villain moments from the show, because the villains are, after all, the heartbeat of the show. Well, heartbeat? They're not the heartbeat. They're like, Batman and Robin are the heartbeat. Hold on. The villains are more like the shoulder blades. No, the villains are like the lungs because they breathe air into the show. There you go. That was pretty good, huh? Something that I really love about the villains in the show is the way that they're presented on camera. The show would use these insane Dutch angles a lot of the time when we were inside a villain's lair. They used them exclusively inside of villain lairs just to like give them a weird, off-kilter, bizarro look. We're in the twisted mind of the Riddler. The twisted mind of the Clock Man.
She told me to keep an eye on the girl behind the counter.
You mean the one talking to her hot dog?
I think the only time I remember seeing them use a Dutch angle outside of a villain's lair was this. It was so cool. There's a scene when Batman is talking to this police officer, but they're filming it with a Dutch angle. So you're sitting there watching like, this feels off. Ugh, something's gross about this. And that is the clue to the audience that Batman is talking to the villain in disguise right now. When I noticed that, I was like, oh, I feel like a smart guy. We're in the presence of a villain and I could feel it and it felt good. And then you see it again shortly after in the same episode. Chief O'Hara is there and it's like, wait a second. Uh-oh, something naughty is happening here. There's an episode when the Penguin is running for mayor and this whole episode is like, I can make a whole video just on this episode. Very relevant. Very relevant. But there's a quote that the candidate that he's running against says, and it's very silly.
It's hopeless. I can't possibly beat the Penguin. He'll use every underhanded political trick in the book, and he probably knows more underhanded tricks than even I know.
He probably knows more underhanded tricks than I know. Politician jokes. You can't trust him.
Remember, no politics. Issues confuse people. See a big smile, hearty handshake, a very catchy campaign song. That's the way to win an election.
Might I add one more suggestion? Create a big list of all of your opponents that you want to put in prison if you get elected. They all like doing that nowadays. Every single politician just making lists of who they want to put in prison. Policy doesn't matter anymore. Just, this is who I'm going to jail if you elect me. I like this part in season 2 when Marsha, Queen of Diamonds, she's the bad guy this episode, and she uses this love potion to force men to fall in love with her, and then she gets them to do whatever she wants. Very silly, very goofy. But my favorite part of the episode is actually at the end. She gets Batman with a little love potion, and then she kidnaps him and Robin, and then convinces Commissioner Gordon that she has used a potion to turn them into little toads. Little Batman and Robin toads. I love this. Look at these little toads.
Say hello to the commissioner, Bat Toad.
The dynamic duo, a pair of toads?
I'm afraid it's true, Commissioner. We're right here. She's got us.
Holy hors d'oeuvres, Chief O'Hara. Keep that cat away from us.
I would like to also show you one of my favorite quotes from the Joker. There was a whole episode where he was becoming an artist. He was sculpting and painting and stuff. And then he was going to sell all of these pieces. And he was like laundering money or whatever. But he hits this quote that's pretty good.
Joker, that's not very nice.
Well, we artists are not required to be nice, only talented.
Ain't that the truth? Preach it, brother. The Joker is incredible. He's just such a silly guy. You know, he's not really, I don't know, he's not as malicious. Let me think here. He does bad stuff, but he does it in such a silly, goofy way, and he's just such a likable guy. How's that for a take? The Joker is just such a likable guy.
Oh, you can say that over the phone, Batman, but if I had you here, I'd pound you to a pulp.
Start pounding, Joker.
The actor who played him refused to shave his mustache when they did all the face paint, so they just painted over it. And he's got that thing on him all the time. I mean, he's got face paint. He's got the whole getup even when he's in prison, and he's got the painted mustache. I love this show, guys. It's such a good show.
Vanity's a waste of time. I never look at myself.
Joker stumbles into Wayne Manor. He's gonna rob Bruce Wayne. He's got this whole plan where he's gonna rob Bruce Wayne. And he accidentally finds the Batcave, but Alfred steps in and saves the day and like launches him back up. And the way that he reacts to it is like, give this man an Oscar, honestly.
Someone get me off this crazy dumbwaiter! I can't breathe!
Why don't you give him some breathing space?
With pleasure, sir.
Oh, they don't give Oscars for TV? We'll give him an Emmy then. Nerd. I think maybe my favorite episode of the whole show was when the Joker swapped his brain, kind of, with this professional surfer. I don't really even know what his end goal was. He just wanted to be a good surfer, I guess. But Batman is like, naughty, naughty. You're not allowed to swap brains with a professional surfer. That's against the law. So then Batman challenges Joker to a surf off, and that's a real thing that happens. Got his swim trunks on, they're surfing out there. This is the best show ever made, actually.
I won! Batman came in second!
The order of finishing isn't what counts, Joker.
Why not? Why not? Losers don't come in first!
There's also just so many other great moments, like there's this scene when they're fighting against the Sandman. And we all know the Sandman, you know, Mr. Sandman. He makes you fall asleep. For their fight scene, it's like a big pillow fight. It's amazing. There's this scene when the Mad Hatter sprays Batman with this kind of radioactive poison spray, and it turns the cowl that Batman wears, it turns it bright pink. If this is not the most niche and amazing cosplay opportunity, then I don't know what is, guys. I love a weird niche specific thing. If I were to be a Comic-Con guy and do cosplay stuff, I would do pink cowl Batman 100%. Are you kidding me? One of the villains, Egghead, he's this this bald man, and he's supposed to be like super duper smart, but he's kind of a little coward, a little baby boy. And he's got this scene with Batgirl that I love and I want to show you right now.
Do you expect me, a respected arch criminal, to think on my friends like a common stool pigeon?
Of course.
All right, I'll do it.
Okay, you see me sitting here in the leotard. I got the onesie on. I'm in the tight green outfit, guys. I can't stand up. Dear God, I can't stand up. So I'm gonna talk about the Riddler. I love the Riddler. And the Riddler is maybe the one villain in the show that I think is truly evil. Lots of the villains have like money motivations. There are some villains that just want to harness as much power as possible. There's also some that operate on like this weird gray area where their desired outcome and their motivations aren't really even that bad, but they're just going about it in the objectively wrong way, and they're breaking the law along the way, and Batman can't have that. Like the Archer, he wants to steal from the rich and give to the poor. Bookworm, he just wants a fancy old collectible book. Nora Clavicle, she replaces all of the cops in the city with female cops. What a beautiful thing. She does it because the women are bad at being cops. It's a bad example. I shouldn't use that example. And you got someone like Mr. Freeze. Dude, Mr. Freeze. He's literally only bad because Batman effed him up. He caused this accident that like permanently made it so he has to wear this suit or he'll die. So like he just wants revenge on Batman for ruining his life. But the Riddler is just deeply sinister. His plots are dark. He wants pain. The Riddler wants people to suffer. That's all he wants. He's a twisted little freak. There's an episode where he films his heinous crimes. He wants to make a movie about his heinous crimes, guys, just to get his jollies. He's like a YouTube prankster from the 2010s. Even the Joker wouldn't do this stuff. And he's always putting his henchmen in terrible danger, more so than any of the other villains I've noticed. There's one episode where he gets one of his henchmen to dress up as Batman. He wants him to pretend to be Batman. And then he sends him to Commissioner Gordon's office. Now, Commissioner Gordon, arguably Batman's best friend, outside of Robin and Alfred, obviously. But like, if this goes awry, your henchman, he's doomed. See ya, bye-bye. But Riddler doesn't care. He's just found a new henchman. He's a little nut, a little psycho, and he's maybe the best, most evil villain in the whole show.
Genius. Sheer genius.
And that is why I want to talk about something very important regarding the Riddler. Now, I said that he puts his henchmen in danger. This is very dark, guys. Strap yourselves in. In one of the episodes that I talked about way back in 2019, there was a scene with a character named Molly. Now, Molly seemingly fell to her death in the Batcave.
I'm slipping! Oh,
deluded girl.
At the time, I had kind of speculated maybe Molly didn't actually die in this scene. This was episode 2 of the show, and I thought to myself, well, certainly she'll come back up later in the show. We've still got 118 episodes and a movie. Molly will be back at some point in this big twist. Her character did have a name after all, like a normal name, right? A lot of the henchmen are just, they have these goofy little names that are puns for like the villain, but Molly is just Molly. She's like, that's like a character, a main character type shit. Well, guys, I watched every single episode of Batman. Molly actually just died. She never comes back. She died in the Batcave that day. This is crazy to me. Like, this happened in episode 2.
If only she'd have let me save her.
The poor misguided soul. She got caught up with the supervillain, wound up in the wrong place at the wrong time. Whoa, what the hell is happening? Oh boy. Joker's here, I think. And she freaking died for it. There wasn't any campy music. It wasn't played off as a goof. She just perished. And again, at the time I thought, gosh, it's too bad that Batman wasn't able to save her. He was right there. She was just out of reach. He wasn't able to save this poor soul. Surely he would have saved her if he could have. Right? Let's back up for a second. Okay, when we first met Molly, it was at that dance club where she drugged Batman's orange juice, okay? She personally violated this man. Then the next thing she does is help Riddler kidnap Robin, Batman's kid, basically. And they're torturing this poor guy. They steal his identity. Molly wears his face, essentially, and uses that to sneak into the Batcave so she can kill Batman. That's the whole plan. Drug Batman, steal his kid's face, kill Batman. Well, we find out soon after she sneaks into the Batcave with Batman that Batman was actually onto her the whole dang time.
Well, Molly, I was wondering when you'd get around to that.
You mean you saw through my disguise?
Those straws you gave Robin to breathe through, I spotted the defect in the mask instantly. That was the one hole in your plan.
He was never fooled by her little ruse, and that's the part that's really interesting to me. If Batman knew that Molly was pretending to be Robin, why bring her to the Batcave? Why show her where the Batcave is? He just drives right in the front door with Robin, Molly Robin by his side. Every other time in the show that Batman brings someone to the Batcave, he knocks them out first. He uses a little spray and then he wakes them up again once they're inside the Batcave so they're not able to know the actual location of it. So why didn't he care that Molly knew the location of the Batcave? Let's think here. Let me solve that little riddle. It's because Batman planned on killing Molly the whole time. Now hear me out. Just a few minutes prior to him bringing her to the Batcave, he tried to kill her with the bat laser. The show was leading us to believe that he was shooting at the car. He was shooting at the car that the Riddler and Molly were in because he wanted to stop them so that he could save Robin. Well, he shot them with a dang laser and flipped them into the ditch and exploded the car. This is insanely reckless, right? If he was trying to save Robin, who was in the car, he wouldn't have basically exploded the car. He would have done that in a much safer way. He would have gotten them to pull over in a safe way, and then he would have gotten Robin back. But no, he was trying to cause an explosion and kill the Riddler and Molly. He tried to make it look like an accident. And when that didn't work, when the explosion didn't kill the Riddler and Molly, he knew he had to finish the job, so he goes and he takes Molly, he brings her into his car, he brings her to the Batcave, an undisclosed location that nobody else knows of. No witnesses. The perfect crime. And given the fact that this was essentially the first episode, I think this is where the arc of his moral compass came from, guys. I think it was all very intentional. I think they knew we have to kill somebody, we have to have Batman kill somebody right away, and then change into a different man. That was Batman's origin story, the murder of Molly. What do you think? You like that one, guys? Only 4 people died in the entire series, okay? Mr. Freeze kills somebody in cold blood. No pun intended. We talked about this earlier. The 2 henchmen shot each other on accident. Oops. And the 4th one, the 4th death in the whole show was Molly. Poor deluded girl. Really makes you think. Thank you guys. Thank you so much. Yes, I did it, guys. No, I don't think anyone else has ever thought about this before. I'm the first one ever, probably. Let me have this, please. Okay, I came to this conclusion on my own. I want to have this one, please. So it would be cruel of me to go through this entire video without mentioning Batgirl. Batgirl was dope as hell, and she was added in season 3. Apparently at the time there were very mixed opinions on the addition of Batgirl. A lot of people saw her as like this token character that was thrown in there. The assumption was, well, the show's ratings were going down because it just was like kind of the same thing over and over. People were starting to get sick of it, and they wanted to introduce a new audience to the show, and they wanted young girls to get more into the show, so they tossed in Batgirl, and that is actually why they did it. But that does not mean that Batgirl wasn't dope as hell. I think her character added so much to the show. What they were able to do is add kind of a B plot to these episodes. For basically 100 episodes leading up to this, it was just Batman and Robin are on their mission to stop the bad guys. We would cut between what Batman and Robin were up to, and we cut to what the villains were up to. But that was it. It was one storyline that was kind of trudging its way through. Batgirl kind of operates outside of what Batman and Robin are doing. She's not like part of a trio with them. She's doing her own thing. She uses the connection because she's Commissioner Gordon's daughter. She uses that connection to like eavesdrop, listen in on what they know. She kind of spies on Batman and Robin. But she uses all these connections to like put the pieces together herself, and she's helping Batman and Robin in the background for most of the show. Like there's a lot of times that they don't even know she's involved with stuff. They don't know she's helping until like the very end when she shows up and like kicks some people in the face, and they're like, what the heck is Batgirl doing here? It's very fun. It's a great dynamic. I think it works really well.
Oh no, Batgirl's not gone again.
I just passed her in the ladies' locker room.
The show was probably, you know, the formula was nearing its natural end. So to be able to spice things up after 100 episodes, kind of give it new life, very cool. Also, she has undeniably one of the coolest on-camera costumes of any superhero ever. This is like Bible Man level cool, okay? Speaking of 100 episodes, I have uploaded almost exactly 100 YouTube videos to my main channel since the last time I talked about the Batman TV show. Time flies. Holy smokes, time flies. Thank you for joining me on this journey. I've been wanting to talk about Batman for years. It's been a while, and now there's not much left to say other than an extra thank you to my patrons. Those listed here are in the top tier on there. You guys, if you were getting jumped in Gotham City, I would show up and I would act like Robin, all right? I would be indiscriminate. I wouldn't even ask questions. I'd just start throwing hands. Thank you for the support on there. I will be posting a little costume try-on video very soon, so check that out. If you have time for one more video today, I would highly recommend watching my my Wii Fit video. Let's keep the 100 number going. I played Wii Fit for 100 days. That's a very fun video. I think you'll like that. All right, that's all I got. Congrats, Sam Darnold. You broke my heart, but I love you, buddy. I will talk to you again very soon, next week. Goodbye, guys.